Wijnaldum, Hazard. Ooh, here's some names that would have got you excited if they were linked to West Ham a few years ago. But do they still tickle your fancy today? That's what we're going to discuss in the West Ham Transfer Rumours show. Well, I'm going to discuss. You're not. I'm in the video. You're not. You can get involved in the comments below though if you do wish to discuss it. But in terms of audio and visual, it's the Geo show. It's the West Ham Transfer Rumours show. And let's start with the first one, and that is Wijnaldum. Obviously went to PSG in the summer from Liverpool in his contract. It's not worked out too well for him there. Look, rumours are linking him back to the Premier League with ourselves and Newcastle, surprise, surprise, as the leading candidates. Now Newcastle are just going to get linked to everybody. If anyone wants to move club, fancy Newcastle. Do you want to go to Newcastle? You can go to Newcastle if you want. There's like one club that suits all. It's like the Gregs. If someone's hungry, you can just say to them, do you want to go Greg's? Everybody gets offered it. Sausage roll, Greg's. That is Newcastle. Newcastle, sausage roll. Anyway, so Wijnaldum at West Ham, we'd love it. We'd absolutely love to see Wijnaldum on loan at West Ham United. And I can kind of see it for some reason. Do I believe it? Initially, I was like, not a chance. But then I thought about it and thought, well, why not? Could I see Wijnaldum coming back to the Premier League on loan? Yeah, he's not getting the game time over there, and PSG won't miss him too much. It would make sense for him to come back to the league that he knows, that he's used to and performs well in as well. And he's still got a really good reputation in the Premier League after performing so well at Liverpool. Been a big part of the team that won the Premier League and the Champions League. So I can see why he'd come back. So the question is, would West Ham be interested in him? Obviously, it would come with big wages. However, I've almost convinced myself, perhaps it's through the desire to see Wijnaldum in the claret and blue. It's because of David Moyes' comments. Gonzo did a video about it, and I think the main thing to do is when you're looking at these rumours, now I like to think I dismiss 95% of them, but Moyes does give you some insights into his thinking ahead of the transfer window, and sometimes you've got to read between the lines. And when he spoke about the attacker, he basically said we need to get somebody in, but it's difficult because we're a top 4 team at the minute, and finding a striker that's good enough to play in the top 4 of the Premier League is not easy. But then he referred to bringing in Jesse Lingard a year ago and said, oh, we bring in someone like Lingard that has that dynamic, that can obviously score goals and create goals. We know Wijnaldum can do that. It perhaps wasn't as evident at Liverpool as it is when he plays for his country, the Netherlands. It is evident there. He plays in a much more advanced role when he plays for his country, and he scores goals, regularly scores goals. Him and Memphis Depay are always the top 2 leading goal scorers for the Netherlands as well. So could Wijnaldum be an alternative to Jesse Lingard? The deal would be similar as well, a couple of £1 million loan fee, decent wages between now and the end of the season, but it's a short term, low risk move for club and player. I could see it happening. Logistically it makes sense, the things make sense. Can I see it happening really though? Probably not. Would I like to? Hell yes! Yes please, I would like to see Wijnaldum at West Ham. Now as for Hazard, I mean the rumours are last week we apparently had a £21 million bid rejected. I don't think there's anyone out there who believes it. None. Even the person that came up with this rumour, the journalist that wrote this story, I'm not even convinced he believed it either. Do you know, I think sometimes they just have, it's almost like the Champions League draw. It's as bad as a Champions League draw. You just pick whatever you want out. You don't want it. Man, it doesn't matter. Just carry on with the draw anyway. We'll work it out later. Oh, turns out, yeah, you were right, man. You weren't in there. I think they've got that, and they've just got like some bowls on their desk with various clubs, various price tags, and various players, and they just go, who have we got? Hazard, right? Yeah, we'll go Hazard. He could leave him. Go for a Premier League club. Get your hand in there, pick one out. Oh, West Ham, right? Brilliant. Go in that pot over there. It's between 15 and 30 million. You'll get various valuations. Just what's that? 21? Yeah, that'll do. Hazard, West Ham. 20. Yeah, I'll just make up something about how West Ham need an injury crippled has-been left winger because Said Benrahma's not doing it. Yeah, nice. At least put a little bit of creativity into it, you know. I think I could come up with my own transfer rumours. It's far more believable than that. But hypothetically, if it was true, which it isn't, I don't even want to see it. I remember getting grief for saying Hazard wasn't world class. I stand by it. I think he had world class ability, but to be world class, I think you've got to be consistent. And I don't think turning up every 3 weeks against Bournemouth or Watford or Norwich justified it, if you like. I'm kidding. Hazard was probably world class for a short spell, but now, no thank you. I wouldn't even want him at West Ham, and I don't know. It's just not. Do you know some players you see linked to and you think, yeah, Moyes could work with him. Wijnaldum, Moyes could work with him. Hazard, I'm not really convinced that's a David Moyes kind of player. But anyway, let's move on, shall we? Just to interrupt my own video because two things. First of all, look at that subscriber count. We need 25 of you watching this video to subscribe to connect the 21,000. Second of all, this video is sponsored by the One Football app. If you want to keep up to date with all the latest transfer rumours in between the Transfer Rumours Show videos, then you can do with this fantastic app, and it is fantastic. I'm not just saying that. Get it downloaded, it asks you who your favourite club is, and it aggregates all the news into one place for you. But we play Arsenal tomorrow night, so if you download it between now and then, at 7 o'clock tomorrow you'll get a notification on your phone that says lineups announced, Arsenal versus West Ham. You click on it, it gives you both teams, what they think the formation will be, who's playing, who's on the bench, and in between now and then you can keep up to date with all the team news, such as Aubameyang being stripped of the captaincy at Arsenal. And if there's any COVID's creeping back into Premier League, isn't it? It's not in the Transfer Rumours Show. There's no COVID in the Transfer Rumours Show. However, if you want to keep up to date with the latest going on in the Premier League and what games are on and what games are off, it's all in this app and it's completely free. Get it downloaded. The link is in the description below. Enough of that. Back to the rumours. To the next two players, which are both Liverpool-based players, and we've discussed them in the past various times, although things change. The first one is Origi. I would still like to see him at West Ham. I still like Origi. Is he a fantastic footballer? No. But you almost have to be better than fantastic. You have to be world class to some extent to get into that Liverpool team. But whenever he is, and he does all right, and it's probably easier to do it at Liverpool when you've got Salah on one side and Mane on the other, and you've got Robertson and Alexander-Arnold whipping them in. It's probably a bit easier to score goals on that team than it is when you play for someone else, even like West Ham. Although he will still get good service here, it's not quite up to scratch as Liverpool. I think he'd be a brilliant signing for us. The problem is Liverpool are good at negotiating. We've seen players leave Anfield for hugely inflated prices in the past. Solanke and Jordan Ibe going to Bournemouth, both of them the prime example. And this is where I think if Origi was leaving Liverpool, you can almost bet your bottom dollar that Newcastle's going to be in the running as well. Eddie Howe will be rocking up at his favourite hunting ground to buy overpriced players. But I do think Origi would work well with us. I think his style of play would suit us well. And it's the old conundrum, isn't it? Is he good enough? Would Moyes take Antonio out of the team in order to put Origi in? Well, actually, Origi's someone I think could do a bit of a Lanzini here, which is he comes off the bench for a few games. I think he'd impress enough, given enough opportunities off the bench, enough time. I think he would impress, and it would get to the point where you could no longer ignore it. I'd be very happy to see Origi join West Ham. It's another one that I think would be low risk. It would depend on the fee. When you see Origi linked to West Ham, there's not usually a fee attached to it. It's like West Ham are interested in him, but okay, well, I'm interested in buying a house across the road, but it doesn't mean I can afford it, does it? I'm not interested in buying a house across the road. It's a car park, and I don't want to buy a car park. Anyway, Nat Phillips, another Liverpool player. Again, another player being linked to quite a bit. Now, he fractured his cheekbone, so he's out injured currently as we speak. Nat Phillips is out injured. However, he's only out for a few weeks, so he'll actually be fit again come January. Arguably helps. If West Ham's interested in him is genuine, this actually helps West Ham, I think, because he can't play between now and then, which means he can't impress Jurgen Klopp, which means his transfer value can't go up. His importance to Liverpool can't increase either, so he's sort of stuck a little bit. And I think that actually gives anyone that's interested in buying Nat Phillips a bit of an advantage. And I think the transfer fee for Nat Phillips is rumoured to be around 10 million. I think that's where it becomes attractive to many clubs, not just West Ham, because it's punt money for the Premier League these days, isn't it? 10 million is it's a gamble. If it works out, excellent. Doesn't work out, not the end of the world. See a Jetty, 9 million, didn't work out, we move along kind of thing. And that is punt money for Premier League now. Not loads of appearances for Liverpool, although has impressed relatively well when we've seen him, particularly against West Ham when we played. I remember playing them with two young centre backs, Phillips and Williams, and they both done well against us. I guess the problem here is how long is Zuma out for? It's believed to be 6 weeks, right? So 2 months, let's just say 2 months. It's not that long, is it? So it's not long enough to justify. This is why I struggle. I still do. I've seen Nathan Ake linked with us continuously. I still struggle to believe that. I don't believe it. I would love to see Ake at West Ham. I just don't think we'll stump up that kind of cash for any centre-back, not just Ake, any centre-back. Say with Tarkowski, unless it's under 15 million or less, just can't see us paying the money. That's why And Moyes has spoken about wanting a centre-back now. But the interesting thing isn't that we want a centre-back. The interesting thing for me was that he was basically saying, because of the injury to Zuma, we're now going to have to look at a defender in the January transfer window, which insinuates, after the injury to Ogbonna, they didn't flinch. The club were like, all right, not ideal, he's out for the rest of the season, but we've got Zuma, Dawson, Diop, that's enough, we'll carry on. And it felt like Moyes wasn't targeting a defender in January despite Ogbonna being out for the season, but he perhaps is now with Kurt Zuma out. So with that in mind, I think 10 million or a loan deal is the type of centre-back we're going after. Nat Phillips ticks that. Would I like to see him at West Ham? I'd be okay with it. I wouldn't be doing cartwheels, but I wouldn't be poo-pooing it either. And then we've got Kamara, who is definitely leaving Marseille. We've not really been linked to him as such, but this is almost all but confirmed. Boubacar Kamara, we've been linked to him quite a bit. He's out of contract at the end of the season. It's basically unofficially confirmed he will not be signing a new contract at Marseille, which means he's available for a decent price in January or will be leaving the club for free in the summer. It also becomes highly appealing to some clubs. I still think West Ham will make a move for a Marseille player. I think there's far too much links between us and Marseille now, with Giorgio Santos leaving Marseille to scout to join West Ham. We had Aldridge working at Marseille and his job was to sell players from Marseille to Premier League, and we know that he was trying to sell a car to Manchester City, and of course Rob Newman was at Manchester City, so you can only assume that Newman to some extent would be aware of the players at Marseille. Santos would be aware of the players at Marseille. They're now in charge of recruitment at West Ham United, and I just wouldn't be surprised to see us not just get linked but actually move for one or two Marseille players in the next couple of seasons as well. Then up next is a player I've never heard of, Valentin. It's my own writing. I don't know why I'm struggling to read it. It's my own writing. Valentin Castellanos. Plays for New York City. 9 goals in 7 games. Never heard of him. But we've got a lot of American viewers that watch this channel. So if you guys have seen him in the MLS, put your comments below. It'd be interesting to read what you think of the player. I'll put a link to his transfer market profile in the description as well if you want to go check it out. But he's a striker, obviously, 9 goals and 7. He's an absolute fantastic centre-back in the air at set pieces. But he's a striker at New York City. Can't really say whether I believe it or not. The only thing that makes me a bit, if he was good enough for the Premier League, you'd imagine Manchester City would already have something lined up, given that it's the same club owners and stuff like that, and it's the network of clubs. I'm aware there's a different level of ability between West Ham and Manchester City, so it's one of them I'm a bit wouldn't mind Daryl Dike at West Ham though, for the American viewers. Then at Derby, we've been linked to 3 players, because we all know Derby need a little bit of cash. They're a bit skint at the minute, so there could be a bit of a fire sale in January, and the 3 players we're being linked with is Max Bird, Buchanan and Jason Knight as well. Now Knight's actually probably Derby's best player. I've seen him a few times this season actually. They're on the telly a lot. It's the Wayne Rooney thing, isn't it? It's like Wayne Rooney tax, because it's a popular enough manager that people know and might make them tune in to watch Derby, although Wayne Rooney's on the touchline and not on the football pitch. But I've seen a bit of them. They play good football actually. I've been quite impressed by the way Derby play, and they've got a bit of spine to them. They've been hammered with this points deduction at the minute, but the attitude of the players has thoroughly impressed me. But I don't know if I'm more impressed by the way the players are almost sticking up against this financial points deduction they've been hit with a couple of times now, and minus 18 points I think. I genuinely hope Derby stay up, just for almost like a 2 fingers to the administration for giving them points deductions, especially considering we've had to suffer the Super League 6 fiasco, and the ruling for not punishing them was, well, we don't want to punish the fan base because they tried to quit, so we're not going to give them a points deduction because that would be punishing the fans and it's not their fault. Yet when it comes, here we are again, Derby County getting hit with a points deduction for the club being badly run. It's just rubbish. I'm going off at a tangent. I know that's not West Ham Transfer Rumours, but we've been linked with 3 of their players in January. Joe Waddle. Now, going back to what I was saying about Nat Phillips, I could almost see us entering the market for somebody round about that £10 million mark. Joe Waddle, centre back of Nottingham Forest. Can't say I've seen much of Forest. While I've seen Derby this season, can't say I've seen too much of Forest. So I don't really have an opinion as such on him. However, I know he's held in high regard as one of the best centre backs in the Championship. But this is the type, this is the profile of centre back that I could see us going for in January, because I think it's important that there's a long-term plan. When we go after the centre-back in January, there's got to be a little bit of a long-term plan here. because as we're led to believe that Zuma will be back in comfortable time for the end of the season, pardon me, but more importantly that Obona's going to get that extra 1 year deal. So next season we'll have Dawson, Diop, Zuma, Ogbonna plus the new centre back, assuming we buy one and not loan one. That's a lot of centre backs, and this is where I just can't see it being someone like Ake. We don't need Ogbonna, Diop, Dawson, Zuma and Ake. We don't need that. It's too much competition, too many first team player centre backs. But someone like Wardle, who actually you can almost get away with having almost like a 1 year apprenticeship in the Premier League, a bit like when you look at Burnley at the weekend. They signed Nathan, I'm sure it's Nat, so it must be Nathan, right? Nathan Collins from Stoke City. They've taken him up and basically said, it's quite clear, you're not going to get in the team. We've got me and Tarkowski, but long term you're going to replace one of them, and you're the third choice centre back. I think that's what West Ham's probably going to be looking at for centre back wise. And now another point to consider perhaps is for the summer, Milenkovic. Remember him? I have to admit, I was convinced we were going to sign him in the summer, not Kurt Zuma. Nikola Milenkovic, the Fiorentina centre back. In the summer, he's got a release clause of 15 million, but it's only active in the summer transfer window. So it sort of rules out a January move for him, but makes a summer transfer move extremely likely. Now, if David Moyes' sort of interest in him was genuine, and we need a centre back long term at West Ham, that's something interesting, isn't it? Just chuck it in there. The West Ham transfer rumours. Sure, I saw it. Thought, make a mental note of that. I'll just chuck it in this video for you guys. Anyway, there you go. The book's been closed. That's West Ham transfer rumours for today. Basically, I don't believe any. I don't believe it. I don't believe any of them. Maybe one or two might happen, but I can't see it. What a load of rubbish it is, but I quite enjoy it, to be fair. I do love transfer rumours. I love the transfer window. It's like Christmas happens, bugger Christmas, roll on the 1st of January for transfer rumours. That is my Christmas. I like it. Don't know why. I think I just like laughing at rumours as well and dismissing them and trying to call them, and might even make one up myself actually. I'll just get some pots. Maybe next time the West Ham transfer rumour show you come along, I'll be sitting here with 5 balls. I'm just going to pick out names, players and values and just put it in the title of the video. Ronaldo, West Ham, 3 million. I'll put that in the title of the video. Ronaldo to West Ham for 3 million. Technically not clickbait. It's a rumour. I've just made it up in the video. That's all. Technically it would work, right? I might try it. Anyway, if you enjoyed this transfer rumour show, drop a like on it, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'll catch you in a bit.